Although,
yes,
in Wandsworth,
yes.
is it raining or not?
What
John
shall we
Maguire
find
can tell
out?
us. Let's
Here
have a
he
look.
is.
Morning, John.
Morning, guys. It's not raining, actually. It's been a pretty good morning. We're just watching some of the children play. Could there be a future Heather Watson, Johnny Marray, Andy Murray, of course, amongst them? They play with a larger ball, a bit softer, still quite bouncy at close quarters, but getting to grips with tennis. They've been playing for a couple of years. They're really, really quite good. And the big hope is that after such an exciting day yesterday, the highs and the lows of another Andy Murray mill, we're all put through it, that grassroots tennis like this, especially with juniors, will catch on. But let's just go back to yesterday and reflect on how tough it was for all of us. Did you cheer? Did you scream? Did you cry? If you did, you weren't alone. Millions and millions rode alongside you on the Andy Murray roller coaster.
Right, I'm going to try this and it's not going to be easy.
Good man.
He done very well. I was very proud of Scotland today, but what can I say? It was expected, but he did put a fair game in today. He was proud. It was very entertaining.
My heart feels like it's going to explode every time I watch him, yeah.
I'm pretty gutted at the moment. He had a good chance and...
It was a tough watch, huh?
It was a tough watch at the end, yeah.
Once again, red-haired Donald Budge of California meets Britain's Bunny Austin.
1938, and the last British man to reach the singles finals was a runner-up too. The first to wear shorts at Wimbledon, though. Bunny Austin. Even his name evokes a long-gone era, a time when tennis was an amateur, although very glamorous sport. His son John tells me all these years later, Bunny and Andy have much in common.
Well, I think he would have been very excited because, I mean, he would have enjoyed Andy Murray's game because he has wonderful ground strokes, he's a great stylist, he can hit drop shots and lobs, and played a little bit like my father, except he would have had a faster serve. And obviously he's a full-time athlete. My father was an amateur and had another job, so it was quite a different world. And in those days there was very little, well, there was no prize money. You simply won a voucher from Mappin and Webb, and that was £5 for the runner-up. I think it was £10 for the winner in those days.
Comparable to Andy's prize money last night, worth in excess of £500,000. That's a lot of vouchers. It wasn't so much anyone for tennis as absolutely everyone for tennis. This Cineworld in South London, one of more than 50 cinemas across the UK, where fans swapped strawberries and cream for popcorn and 3D glasses. And at the Bluebird restaurant in Chelsea, the smart set were thrilled by the 4 sets of the final. On the bright side, Andy doesn't have to wait another year to finally win at Wimbledon. He'll be back here for the Olympics, and we'll be here to support him with shouts, flags and hankies at the ready. Never a dull moment when you're cheering for Andy Murray, is there? Let's just come across and have a quick chat with James Webber, who's the tennis coach here. James, good morning to you. Tell us about the children. What sort of age are they and how long have they been playing?
We've got a range of kids from 6 to 9, and most of them have been playing, you know, a year or two, a couple, 3 years or so. But good variety. Some of them quite new to the sport. I've just taken up down here at the local park, so they're doing well.
And they are good. I mean, you can see that they've got the core skills. Do you find, inevitably, I suppose, that Wimbledon creates a spike in interest, particularly when we've had Brits doing so well this year?
Yeah, as we mentioned earlier, there's we always hope for a big spike in interest when you've got Murray reaching the final, doing so well, like we saw in the final. Not quite getting there, but yeah, I mean, we've seen today even the kids turning up and talking about the final, and that keeps things, going for the future. So it's really important.
And what's the trick? What's the trick in making sure that interest continues through this summer and into the future?
Yeah, that's our big challenge, is to keep kids playing through into the winter time. And I think the thing is, you got to inspire them to really compete a lot. We've talked earlier about the LTA. Our partners, LTA Surrey, have really been pushing us and everyone in the area to get the kids from 6 years old upwards to play a lot of matches, and they've been really supportive to do that. So I think they're starting to sort of turn things around as well.
So it's looking good.
Yeah, it's looking really good.
OK, James, thank you very much indeed. So there we are. We've got the Olympics just a couple of weeks away, so certainly this summer should be an absolute vintage one for tennis and for tennis fans. Back to you guys.
Yeah. John, thanks very much indeed. Hardly vintage weather, though.
No, exactly. And speaking of vintages, they've got the champagne on hold for next year, possibly for Andy Murray. This year's entire vintage may be in some jeopardy, as Phil Lavelle